Walking through the pain of a broken heart? Then tune in to Mystic Radio with Robin Alexis. If you are a widow, navigating loss, or curious about mediumship, join them. Experience live on-air connections between clairvoyant medium Robin Alexis and her deceased husband, Bob, alongside somatic practitioner and healing guide, Mary Stephenson. Download the KKNW app Fridays at 8 a.m. Pacific or find them on your favorite podcast platform. And let this show help you heal.
Welcome to Mystic Radio with Robin Alexis.
And I'm Bob Ordinero, Robin's husband and producer of Mystic Radio, which is an experience, not an explanation.
Clearing energy for the show.
This is Spirit Lady Robin Alexis. You may know me as the host of Mystic Radio with Robin Alexis, with my husband, Bob Ordinaro, for over 19 years. You just heard Bob's voice opening the show like he always did. But this time, Bob's voice is a recording. I am a widow now. Bob died unexpectedly March 14th, 2026. We always thought I would die first because of my severe circulation experiences, but here we are. I am your spirit lady, Robin Alexis, because that's what Bob called me from the first moment he met me. So now Bob will join us in the show through me as a clairvoyant medium. Welcome, Mary Stephenson. Please tell our listeners all about yourself and why Bob and I requested you to help me process the trauma of becoming a widow.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And Robin and Bob, thank you so much for allowing me to honoring me, to inviting me to come in and support you in this very vulnerable time. And what's so beautiful is how you and Bob have maintained this level of connection through your clairvoyance and just the love that travels between worlds, honestly. And a little about me. I've known Robin and Bob. I've known Robin for 13 years. I first met Robin through this radio show. So it's full circle moment for me as well. And Robin has been instrumental in my life as I kind of stepped into my own healing journey and discovered really for the first time what this lifetime was all about for me. And it was really due to Robin's gifts and abilities that I am sitting here with all of you today. So I, number one, am so grateful. And your invitation to help you heal in this moment also just comes from the fact that I have been on my own very deep healing journey for many lifetimes. And this may be the culmination lifetime that really has allowed me to once and for all see the ways in which trauma has operated for humanity for eons of time. You know, in a lower frequency band, we've all really been living in this sort of trauma field of unintegrated dynamics and trauma, and all of the people in our lives have been playing a role. So it's such an incredible, beautiful moment for humanity because many of us are able to witness that with, neutrality, really coming into this space of seeing the suffering that's been happening for the whole planet, but just in our own lives, right? This idea of so above, so below. So it is doing that deep inner work of healing. And of course, the universe will always deliver something unexpected into our lives. And your unexpected, Bob's unexpected death is just such a, devastating experience to become a widow, to lose that connection. And the way that you're holding it, it's also simultaneously the biggest gift of healing that is possible in your life.
It's indescribable as a clairvoyant medium to be able to see Bob and feel Bob. Like sometimes I can actually feel him holding my hand and communicate with him. And I'll give you an example, Mary, because at first I was like, is this just my imagination? But this is a very tactile experience where he kept telling me I had to get a new washing machine. And I was like, right out of the gate, right? Like I didn't even realize how messed up our finances were, that we hadn't prepared for me to die before him, which we will get into on the show. But let's just go back to the washing machine. He was adamant. He just kept saying, you got to get a new washing machine. So I was like, okay, if I'm getting a new washer, I'll get a new dryer. And when they came to install the new washer and dryer, I sobbed because the old washer and dryer were the clothes was the machines I washed his clothes in. And I
Oh,
knew when I got something new, I always like just saying goodbye to him. But then the really weird part was obviously Bob was telling me to replace the washing machine because the guys who came to deliver it, they couldn't do it because it was so the hoses and the attachments into our 100-year-old house were
mm,
so screwed up. I don't know the terminology for plumbing, but anyway, they couldn't do it. So I had to call an actual plumber. His name is Martin, God bless his soul. And he came and he's like, what the heck? He couldn't even pull it out of the 100-year-old thing. And so I
wow.
told him the story about how Bob told me that I had to get a new washing machine. And he said, Robin, you were about ready to have a massive flood in your downstairs. And so then I was like, okay, even though I'm grieving, Bob's still right here. And,
Yes.
you know, it's just a lot, Mary. Even picking out a washing machine in today's world is a huge deal. And then to know your deceased husband is telling you to do it. And then to have, I mean, Mary, I'm so
Yeah.
glad you're co-hosting this show with me.
Oh, me too. And this work is this work shows up for us in the moment. And that really is the most beautiful invitation that I can give to any of the listeners as well, is that when we have unexpected events and loss and grief, that there is such a team behind you. There's such a an angelic or whatever your belief systems are, whatever that allows you to. Maybe it's, Jesus. Maybe you're Jewish. Maybe you're Muslim. Maybe you're Islamic. So it's whatever your belief system is, will be right there with you. And if you happen to be clairvoyant and a medium, all the better, which also can be confusing though, right? So there's this like, what is mine to go through? And how do I sort of create this spaciousness between you and your beloved? What is the human request for this journey for you that's really just yours as Robin?
Well, I think initially it is that when I've experienced other deaths, my daughter and then my parents and friends and whatnot, people who know me would assume on the other side that I would have no human heart experiences. So they tended to not be there for me until now. Now I have a great group of people, and we will be talking about that because it's so important when you do go through a death, especially I think when you become a widow, you really need your people.
Yeah.
And so that is one thing that I believe personally that everyone has the potential to become very, very psychic and certainly clairvoyant and become a medium to those that they care about on the other side.
Mhm.
Um, but walking that path and learning how to do it without getting yourself in trouble, hopefully we can discuss a bit on this show.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was something else I really wanted to say, but typical in the widow brain that I seem to have, it's kind of floated away. And maybe it will come back on this particular show, but I'm not sure. Mary, do you know how long we've been talking?
10 minutes, 11 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let's talk for 2 more minutes, and then I'll
Hmm.
say, well, that's the first half of our show. We're going to take a break and honor our sponsor. So, what should we say that we could actually use for 2 minutes of conversation?
just having this conversation with another human is going to
Mm,
allow you to
yes.
slow down this process that you're in, because you are in a very particular process, and it allows you to see sort of how it's been unfolding and some of the gifts and the challenges. And I think we're going to get into all of that.
Yes, we'll get into that in the next half of the show. And I did remember what I wanted to say, and that is that a lot of people will shun me in my grief experience because I'm a clairvoyant medium. So they either make assumptions about me because I am one, or they reject me and won't honor that I'm a human having grief because I have the gift. So it's been a walk in my life that's been very tumultuous. I've had lots of counseling about it. But I'm really glad that Mary Stephenson is the co-host now with Bob and I. Bob in spirit, he's spirit man, and I'm spirit lady now, and you got us both, Mary. Thank you all for listening for the first half of the first show of the return of Mystic Radio with Robin Alexis. We'll be right back.
If you are ready to find a pathway back to an embodied experience of healing and inner truth, you don't have to walk alone. Mary Stephenson is a somatic practitioner and healing guide who can help you. Receive a special rate of $100 off your first session using the code MYSTIC by visiting her site, marystephenson.com/coaching. That's Stevenson, spelled STEPHENSON.com/coaching. Your space to heal is waiting.
This is Spirit Lady Robin Alexis. You are back with Spirit Man Bob, who's on the other side. I'm a clairvoyant medium. He is my husband. I am a widow now. And we are here with our new co-host of Mystic Radio with Robin Alexis, Mary Stephenson. She's going to explain again, why is Mary here to help Robin while she's coping with being a widow? Thanks, Mary.
Yeah, Robin, thanks for having me. And Bob, we're so glad you're here. We all have the capacity to heal from our grief and our wounds and our losses. But when we come together with another human being who has the ability to hold the space to really witness what you've gone through, something magical happens. And it reminds me, Robin, of when I first started listening to Mystic Radio with Robin Alexis, which is way back in the early 2012s, 2013. And you would have people coming on where you would work with somebody and they became the surrogate healer for that situation. And in fact, the surrogate healer for other listeners who might have experienced that same type of event or loss or situation with a loved one. And so, in this way, what's really beautiful about our work now is that you are becoming a surrogate healer for thousands of others who have gone through this experience, who are in the midst of becoming a widower, or just, losing a relationship of any kind, right? So I want to just really witness that you now have stepped into the space of a surrogate healer.
Well, it's funny, when we did the show, I always said to Bob, I'd never call into a show and tell people my problems. And then when Bob passed away, he's like, you've got to do the show. You've been so public about everything,
Yeah.
which brings me to the book, Spirit Lady, The Gift of Robin Song. If you want to know my memoir and
Hmm.
how I got to be with Bob and how we did the show for 19 years and how now we're continuing it, even though he's deceased. And Mary Stephenson is the co-host, and she's going to walk me through everything I'm going through. It is Bob's legacy. And from the time Bob was 5 and his parents gave him a transistor radio, and probably people listening don't even know what that is. You can Google it. But anyway, this little 5-year-old kid, this is 1951, he's got his transistor radio. He's walking everywhere with it. He's going to bed with it and putting the sheets up over his head, listening to his transistor radio. He always knew he wanted to be in radio. And then he went to the University of Miami so that he would have his bachelor's degree to be in radio. And then he moved from the East Coast to Beverly Hills and launched his 40-year career in radio. He was a radio executive for the biggest
Amazing.
radio stations up and down the coast. As a matter of fact, Eric Kramer, who now is in charge of the station that we're on, he's going to come on at some point, and he's going to talk about the influence that Bob had for
I love
him
that.
personally and
Mm,
professionally, because he's grieving too, right? And Bob's friends
absolutely.
and my friends. So we'll do that. As a matter of fact, I think the very next show we'll bring on my friend Kim, because how she showed up and helped me, it's like a miracle. But anyway, let's come back to me, because that's I think I'm oh, what do you call it? Avoiding.
Yeah, of course. These are big feelings, big
Yes, it's
feelings.
big. And I already started crying over a washing
Yeah.
machine. So let's see what we're going to do now.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest question to you, the first question, Robin, is how have you, because it's been 3 months, right?
Today, it's been 3 months, June
3 months.
14th, 3 months.
Yeah.
That's a big
Well,
marker for a
that's
widow.
a really big deal. And so what comes up when you just acknowledge that? You
Oh,
notice.
I miss him. And it's weird. I mean, he's right here. I know you can feel him too. And I'm certain that a lot of listeners can feel him, because whether people label themselves as a clairvoyant or an empath or intuitive or whatever,
Mhm.
I just know you're out there and you're feeling Bob's presence. And I also know that as I am feeling him blasting me with love, that other
Mm,
people can feel that love. It's like he's throwing love sprinkles all over the place.
yeah.
But having your husband in spirit is way different
Mm.
than living with him, right? Like we
Mhm.
lived together in the same house, no matter where we lived. We moved quite a bit, but we lived 24/7 together. We worked together, we lived together,
Yeah.
and we fought together. We came through the fights together. And there's some things that I found out happened prior to his death that I would have preferred not to have found out. We'll
Right.
get into that. But to
Yeah.
answer your question, how do I feel? I miss him
Yeah.
here in the body that he used to be in.
Yeah, yeah. And it also shows you the bigness of your connection, right?
Yes.
The bigness of the heart connection that doesn't go away, but there is also a reconciliation that has to happen, which is you standing here on your own and your own sovereignty for the first time, in a way, for the first time ever in this lifetime.
The sound skipped out. Standing in my own what?
Standing in your own sovereignty, your own independence
Sovereignty. Yes, yes, yes. And
and all
thankfully,
that that brings.
Bob wasn't my, yeah. And I'm actually glad that, being a single woman, this isn't my first rodeo, because I was divorced from my first husband for over
Mhm.
7 years and was a single mom. And I, did manage to buy a home and have those responsibilities. So I'm not at least that part wasn't a shock. I know how to do it. I have to tell you something going on. I wish I could show everybody who's listening, but often when Bob and I would do the radio show, not when we used to go to the station, but when we had an at-home studio, whether we lived in Mount Shasta, where we live now, or up in Port Angeles, Washington, we would inevitably have deer come. And
Mm.
now there is a male deer in my backyard who has come, and we're doing Mystic Radio. It's like,
Oh, this
to
is
me, it's
great.
another sign that,
It's a
yes, it's so
sign.
cool.
It is a sign. One of the things I'm appreciating so much, Robin, about you sharing this journey so publicly, and thank you for doing that, because that's a
Thank
very
you.
big, I just want to acknowledge that's vulnerable. There's such an like expansion quality to just being here with you to even talk about it. There's an expansion happening. There's like a quickening that
Hmm.
I'm recognizing, which I would say is part of the healing, right? Because
Yes.
humanity, as we understand that we're going to do the healing together, that we can have isolation and we need our alone time to go through the grieving process. But just as important is bringing it to others that you care deeply about. And we're here to have people walk through life with us.
Yeah, yeah. I'm having an experience with Bob right now. So I'm outside and I'm swinging on the swing on our back deck. And this was where Bob and I hung out the most when it was decent weather. And I would give Bob Reiki, which is a form of healing, for hours a day, for over a decade, just to help him feel better. And I just felt his spirit sit down. I can see it and I can feel it. He's sat down and he's put my feet on his lap and he's got his hands on my feet and he is just sending me presents. I wouldn't call it Reiki, but he's
Hmm.
just really letting me know that he's here and that even though he's not in matter, he's in some sort of plasma or something because I can see him. He has form. And
Yeah.
he's looking at me and I can see him smiling. And it's weird too, Mary, because sometimes when I see him, like he still has glasses on, and then other times he looks about 26, and boy, is he hot.
He's like, here, you could have both.
Yeah, you can have this form and you can have that form. So, it's very interesting uh to have him come to the show
Mm.
live in the way that he is in the deer's here and you're here. And yeah, this is what it's like to be Robin, right? Like I
Oh,
all over the place, expand, ground. So happy that we're doing this, Mary. I feel
I
way
am
better.
too.
I was, I don't mad, but it's just so nice to smile for a minute and go, wow, I'll do this. I can be with my friend Mary who's me through this, and I can sit in my backyard and see a deer, and I can.
Now you're breaking up a little bit, but I'm just going to repeat some of what you just said because it's a really important is that to be able to go through this process, to feel all the feelings, but also know
Yes.
that it includes love and it includes joy. Because we know that life is eternal, that we are eternal beings. At least you and I think, believe that. And this is
Mm-hmm.
essentially giving people some hope because there's a level of grief that some people can connect to that is sort of the opposite of that. Like I'm never going to see that person or feel them. And so I feel like this gives
Yeah.
hope and support. What do we want to just share about the next couple episodes? I think what I want people
Oh,
to know, I'm going to say that there is just this idea of knowing and trusting your own experience with what Robin is sharing is going to be very important. So, Robin's going to have her experience and you might have yours, but hopefully the blending of that is going to help heal and the mystical connection is going to be a support.
Yeah, my experience is my authentic experience. Whatever anybody else's is theirs. I'm here to just say, honor your own experience. Know, trust, and act upon your own experience.
Mhm.
And don't think that I'm trying to tell somebody else how to grieve or love or to hate or to go. I mean, oh my goodness. Sometimes when I'm trying to figure out the money situation, I think if Bob was here, I would definitely be yelling at him, right? Like there's a huge expanse of emotion. And with that, I would like to say, Mary, that on the next show, I would like to, if she's willing to come on, bring on my friend Kim,
Mm,
who just intuitively knew that I needed her before I knew I needed her. And
yeah.
just tell that story because it's actually will give people a little bit more background on how and why Bob died, which I'm sure
Yes,
people are really curious about because
definitely.
it was not expected.
Mm-mm.
And I just talked to a real estate agent a couple days ago because I wanted to know the value of our home. And she said, "Oh, I heard what happened to Bob is he died on the operating table having heart surgery." And I said, "Well, that's what is gossip, you know." And so on this show, and certainly when Kim comes on, we'll tell the story about what happened to Bob. And
I think
Bob,
that's so important. Yeah.
yeah, and Bob is leaving now. I can see him leaving, so he has other things he needs to do. And I don't know if that's because the show needs to end. Yeah, he's still being the producer.
That's
Oh, well, Mary, I can't even tell you. My heart is so open. I feel so much better
I'm
just
so
talking to you for this half hour. You're like an angel to me, and we'll hopefully have Kim on next week. Thank you so much, and thank
amazing.
you to anyone who's
Thanks to
listened
all the
to our
listeners.
show. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you like this, please like and subscribe to the
Yes.
podcast.
And
Go to,
share.
yeah, and share. You can go to the KKNW app if you're not near, like where you can turn on a terrestrial station. Just go to the app and you can
Hmm.
listen to the show every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Coast time. And of course, podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, just go there. And if you would, I'd love it if you'd comment so we can know what you're thinking of the show, and like and share, and let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it.
Namaste. Love you so much.
Namaste. Love you too.
You've been listening to Mystic Radio with Robin Alexis. Are you a widow or grieving a deep loss? Are you curious about mediumship? Then this show is for you. Join clairvoyant medium Robin Alexis as she speaks live on the air with her deceased husband, Bob, while being supported by somatic practitioner and healing guide, Mary Stephenson. Download the KKNW app Fridays at 8 a.m. Pacific, or listen wherever you get your favorite podcasts. If you are suffering from a broken heart, let this show help you heal yourself.